The mountains were already old when my grandfather was young. They rose beyond our valley like dark-backed giants, their heads wrapped in cloud and pine. Folks said they watched everything, every promise made, every promise broken. As a boy, I laughed at such talk. As a man, I came to understand why no one ever laughed for long. I was born in a small Appalachian settlement where the land was thin, but the people were not. We farmed the slopes, cut timber by hand, and measured time by seasons instead of clocks. My father, Elijah Boone, was a quiet man with a straight back and eyes that carried more memory than words. He taught me how to split wood, how to read the sky, and how to listen when the world went still. "Listen close," he once said, resting. His hand on my shoulder as the wind moved through the trees. "The land speaks. You just have to be patient enough to hear it." In the autumn of 1872, patience was tested. Word came that a railroad company wanted a path through the mountains. They promised work, progress, and money things our valley. Had little of some men welcomed the idea, others feared it. The mountains had always been our shield, our keeper. Cutting through them felt like cutting into our own past. My father stood against it. "These ridges buried our dead," said at the town gathering. "They carried us through hard winters and lean years. You don't carve up something that's kept you alive." Hunger has a loud voice, and progress speaks even louder. The deal was signed. Work began in early spring. Steel rang against stone from dawn to dusk. Trees fell. Smoke climbed where birds once circled. At night, the mountains seemed closer somehow, their silence heavier than before. Then the accident started. A young worker slipped from a ledge and never rose. A blast went wrong and crushed two men under falling rock. Mules refused to move. No matter how hard they were whipped, old-timers whispered that the mountains were angry. Company men called it bad luck. My father called it a warning. One evening, after a long day, I followed him up a narrow trail few people used anymore. The air grew colder as we climbed. When we reached a high overlook, the valley lay spread below us, lit by lanterns and small fires. "I won't live to see what comes next," he said quietly, "but you might." He pressed something into my hand, a small leather-bound journal, worn soft by time. "My father's words," he said, "and his father's before him. Keep it safe." Not long after, a storm rolled in like nothing we had seen. Rain fell in sheets. Thunder shook the bones of the earth. The mountains groaned, deep and low, as if waking from a long sleep. Before dawn, part of the newly cut mountainside gave way. Rock and mud thundered down into the work camp, crushing rails, tools, and tents. By some mercy, most men had fled during the night, driven by a fear they couldn't explain. The railroad company pulled out within the month, leaving behind twisted metal and scars in the stone. The valley survived. Changed, but alive. My father passed the following winter. We buried him on a rise where he could see the peaks he loved. I stayed, married, raised children, and read from the old journal by firelight. Its pages spoke of respective listening. Before taking of remembering that land holds stories longer than people do. Now I am an old man, walking that same trail with my grandson. The mountains stand as they always have, quiet, watchful, patient. He asks me why I still stop and listen when the wind moves through the trees. I smile and place a hand on the earth, because I tell him some things don't forget. And if you listen long enough, they'll remind you who you are.